Hello from Seoul? Do you think making pancakes is difficult? No, not at all, right? Then what about okonomiyaki, the iconic Japanese pancake? You may think it's something only restaurants can make, but don't worry about it. If you follow my lead, you may taste the best okonomiyaki that you ever had. Alright, let's get started. Okonomiyaki is a Japanese savory pancake which is full of umami, but compared to regular breakfast pancakes, it does require a little more techniques and skills, but as always, you don't have to worry about it. With me, it's gonna be so simple and easy. For this, you will need cabbage, green onion, pork belly, and cake flour, but you could also use all-purpose flour, no problem at all. And depending on your preference, you can add some seafood such as shrimp or octopus, but I only have shrimp at the moment, so let me use it this time. Also, if you have a bunch of leftover veggies in your fridge, bring them all. I'm pretty sure your family members will happily consume it, and they will never know your intention to clean up the fridge. Never. If you really wanna make authentic okonomiyaki, then please get some beni shoga, Japanese pickled ginger, and tenkatsu, tempura scraps. If you have both of them, I can say you're qualified to be an okonomiyaki street vendor. I wish I could give you a certificate or something, although I'm not Japanese. But as always, if there's no way to get them, just skip them. No problem at all. Let's prep our fillings. First, cabbage. Cut 200 grams of cabbage into bite-sized pieces. If it's too big, you might taste some raw cabbage in your pancake, so I recommend cutting it into small pieces. Next, green onion. Recently, I used green onion only for garnish, so I didn't have many chances to use a lot of green onions. But today is the day. Chop as much as you want. More green onion, more delicious. But make sure to include the white part because all the good flavor is in here. And then let's move on to the shrimp. You could also use raw shrimp, but it might be a little difficult to cook it through if you just put it in your pancake. So I'm gonna poach 100 grams of shrimp in boiling water for about 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, you might taste some raw shrimp or get some charcoal pancake to avoid undercooked shrimp. When the shrimp changes color, take it out and cut it into small pieces, but not too small. Again, I'm using frozen shrimp because this is what I have at the moment, but it doesn't have to be shrimp. You can also use different kinds of protein such as pork, beef, or chicken. Anything will turn out great. Next, pork belly. For okonomiyaki, we need this kind of thinly sliced pork, but if it's too long, please cut it into smaller pieces. Here, some of you might wanna ask, Aaron, can I use bacon? Yes, you can, but if it's too salty, I don't recommend it. But we all know bacon makes everything taste better, so it's your choice. Let's put them aside and move on to the sauce. For the sauce, you can use this kind of store-bought okonomiyaki sauce. Yes, this is great. But you know what? As long as you have a few things in your pantry, it's not too difficult to make it at home, so follow my lead. Put 6 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 6 tablespoons of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and mix it all together. And then bring it to a boil over low heat. Once it gets a little thicker, turn up the heat and cool it down. So simple, right? For information, this sauce is not only for okonomiyaki. You can also use this for tonkatsu or yakisoba. Awesome, right? Now, let's make the batter for the pancake. Normally, we're supposed to make dashi, Japanese soup stock, for the batter. But I know you don't want to spend more than an hour only for dashi. That's too much time and effort for a couple of pancakes, right? So again, let's use hondashi that we used for gyudon. I told you, we're gonna use it quite often, right? For dashi broth, put 120 milliliters of water, a half teaspoon of hondashi, and give it a good mix. Honestly, you can use just water, but this will give you more authentic vibe. Next, in a separate bowl, put 120 grams of cake flour, a quarter teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, and whisk all together. According to the traditional recipe, we should add Japanese mountain yam because that gives us a slightly gooey texture. But I think to some of you, it might be a little difficult to get, so I'm gonna replace it with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Now crack 2 eggs into the bowl and whisk those together along with the dashi broth. But just like any other pancake, pancake, please be gentle here and do not overstir this. If gluten develops here, it might be too tough, so you're not gonna like that. If you think it's too complicated, then just get some this kind of okonomiyaki flour. You can easily get this at Asian grocery store, and since there are a lot more spices in it, it will taste even better. Then why am I making this? Because I need to show you how it works, and it makes me look super cool, right? Now let's add all the ingredients to the batter. Cabbage, green onions, shrimp, pickled ginger, tempura scraps, and mix everything together. At this point, some of you might say, Aaron, there's not enough batter. Is it okay? Yes, it's okay. The batter here is not the main ingredient. It just helps bind everything together. That's it. So if your batter looks like this, you're good to go. Let's get to cooking. Put some oil in a non-stick pan and wipe off the excess with paper towels. And then place it over low heat. Once the pan gets nice and hot, put some batter onto the pan. You know what? Okonomiyaki is all about the texture. It should be moist and fluffy on the inside. So if it's a thin layer, you will never get that texture. So make sure to make it about an inch thick. That's the key. When the batter hits the pan, if you heard the most pleasant sizzling sound, sorry about that. There must be something wrong, because that means the pan is too hot for the pancake. So in that case, please reduce it down. Otherwise, you might taste pancakes burnt on the outside but still raw on the inside. Now use a spatula and make a round shape and place some pork belly on top of that, and then cover with the lid and give it a chance to cook through for about 3 to 4 minutes. Once you've got good color on one side, flip it over. But are you scared? Don't worry about it. This is why I'm here for you guys. Bring one of your plates, which is a little bigger than your pan, and gently transfer it to the plate. And then cover it with your frying pan and flip it over. Ta-da! So simple, right? This is the reason why I told you to wipe off the excess oil with paper towels. Think about it. If you flip it over with lots of oil, then you may see yourself in the emergency room. I'm not joking this time. So please check if there's oil in it before you do that. Again, cover with the lid and let it cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. Once the bottom turns nice and brown, grab a chopstick or fork and poke in the middle. If there's no wet batter and it's warm enough, it's time to serve. Let's transfer it to a serving plate and drizzle a good amount of okonomiyaki sauce. You don't have this kind of squeeze bottle? That's okay. Just spread a generous amount of sauce with your spoon or brush. No problem at all. Next, be super generous with Japanese Kewpie mayo. Sprinkle some dried seaweed and then finish it off with bonito flakes. How does it look? It looks quite fancy, right? I think there's no reason not to try this at home. And most importantly, it's super easy. There's nothing complicated. You just saw what I did, right? You wanna know how it tastes? Alright, let's go to our taste tester. Claire.
Smells good. 가쓰어부시 냄새가 엄청나네. 오, 너무 좋은데? Okonomi means the things you like, and yaki means grill. Basically, you put everything you like and grill it. So there is no way you don't like this dish. But I didn't cook it, so I don't know if I like it or not. Let's see how it tastes. 뭘 넣었는지 보겠어. Let me check what's inside. 오, 부드럽게 잘 되네. Are you guys ready? Ta-da! Oh my gosh! Lots of shrimp here. Check this out. It's heavy. Ready? So many flavors and so many textures in one piece of pancake. 오, 나 이거 예전에 먹어봤었을 때는 생강 들어있는 오코노미야끼는 안 먹어봤거든. 근데 이 생강 들어가니까 소스랑 되게 잘 어울린다. 확 끌어주는 그런 맛이 있네. I know some of you don't like ginger, so you don't want ginger in your food. And I was there too. But here, this ginger is kind of a hero. Trust me, you gotta try this. So good! 속에 반죽은 엄청 퐁신퐁신하고 그에 반해 속에 있는 그 야채들은 생강이라든지 양배추라든지 이런 건 정말 아삭아삭하고 겉에 있는 베이컨은 크리스피해가지고 여러 가지 식감의 향연이다. 대박인데? 밀가루로만 만든 팬케이크만 먹었을 때보다 확실히 야채가 많으니까 죄책감이 덜한 것 같아. 소스는 그리고 거의 사 먹는 거랑 똑같네. 재료만 있으면 집에서 만들어 먹어도 괜찮을 것 같아. For me, it's one of the nostalgic dishes. I tried this dish like more than 10 years ago. One of my Japanese friends made this for me and I was so impressed because it was so delicious. After that, every time I see okonomiyaki, it brings back good memories. Thank you, Naoko. I still appreciate it. I remember you.
갑자기?
갑자기. 볼 수도 있잖아.
Today, I showed you how to make okonomiyaki, one of the most popular Japanese pancakes. If you're planning to have some pancakes on the weekend, why don't you try this out? It is so good and full of umami, so there might be some change in your pancake ranking. Alright, this is it for today, and I'll see you next time.